On today's news, there's a toxic backstage power struggle in WWE resulting in the major changes for NXT, the next King of the Ring has been confirmed, a review of SmackDown, a review of the debut episode of Rampage, and more. I can't believe Ollie would dirty himself and stoop to the levels of dancing for you to get you to subscribe. Who would do such a thing? Or you want me to? Never again. All I have to do is demand it, and you'll do it. Won't you? Subscribe.
Support WrestleTalk!
After the shocking batch of releases from NXT recently, and with news that the show will be undergoing changes, the collective reaction from wrestling fans was, what? Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter has shed some light on the situation, and boy, it sure does sound horrible backstage in WWE right now. Meltzer noted that Triple H and Shawn Michaels, who lead the NXT division, reportedly didn't even know about the NXT cuts taking place before they happened. Instead, it was reportedly Vince McMahon, Nick Khan, and John Laurinaitis who made the cuts, with Triple H and Michaels having no say at all. On top of this, there is reportedly toxicity backstage in WWE, shocking, I know, and that Triple H's detractors, who don't want him to take over from Vince, now have ammunition to convince him that Triple H isn't fit for the role after NXT lost to AEW in the Wednesday Night Wars. This toxicity is reportedly what led to Karrion Kross losing twice on Raw since his debut, despite being portrayed as an unstoppable monster in NXT, and why Dakota Kai, who is challenging for the NXT Women's title at TakeOver 36, lost to Aaliyah on Main Event this week. This backstage bust-up could go any number of directions, but it seems that with NXT coming up short against AEW, Triple H's backstage influence might be dwindling. What do you think is next for Triple H? Will he stay the course? Will he take over from Vince? Or will Vince hand the reins to someone else? To Bruce Pritchard, Nick Khan, or John Laurinaitis? Let me know in the comments because I'll be replying to people from out of nowhere for the first 30 minutes after this video goes live. It might have been this toxicity backstage and resentment towards NXT that resulted in Bronson Reed's release, as it was noted in the Wrestling Observer newsletter that after Reed had several dark tryout matches, McMahon decided against calling up Reed to the main roster, and at that point, McMahon's reported thought process was, if he's not going to be on the main roster, what's the point of keeping him? And so he was let go. Bonkers! The whole company, from top to bottom. Speaking of bonkers, the last King of the Ring tournament has given us such memorable moments as King Corbin pouring dog food on Roman Reigns, Corbin bullying Chad Gable for being short, and Pat McAfee calling Shinsuke Nakamura Kingsuke. Some great stories spilling out of that. With that in mind, let us prepare for another King of the Ring tournament and more memories to be treasured, as Andrew Zarian of the Mat Men podcast reported on Twitter that a King of the Ring tournament is slated to take place in October, with the finals taking place in Saudi Arabia. This coincides with the finals of the reported Queen of the Ring tournament, which are also set to take place in Saudi Arabia. Xavier Woods, who has been pushing to be in the next King of the Ring in recent months, took to Twitter to tweet out a gif of a crown shortly after the news broke. He then tweeted, "All I need is a qualifying match. Just need a qualifying match." And now it's time for a review of last night's episode of SmackDown in about 5 minutes. Thank you for being awesome pledge hammers on Patreon. He can last Sean Fur longer than you in the ring, and the cleaner Kenny Shah. If you want your own shout out and loads of bonus content, head on over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/WrestleTalk. There's never been a better time. This show was opened up by John Cena, who began burying Roman Reigns because of the numbers and that he's been pushed time and time again and he keeps failing. And I really don't like this style of promo at all from Cena. The promo battle between Cena and Reigns before No Mercy 2017, where they broke the fourth wall on each other and Cena said he was back because Reigns couldn't do his job and Reigns said Cena just likes to bury people, was kind of fun because there were nuggets of truth in there. This though, Reigns is pretty much universally acknowledged as the best thing going in WWE, and has been since last summer. So for Cena to come back and say, hey Roman, you suck, and everyone knows you suck, and your gimmick is bad, and they keep pushing you, and you keep failing, it just simply isn't true anymore. He said that Reigns still isn't working, and he absolutely categorically is. Sure, some of the shine might have rubbed off in recent months, as some of the stories haven't been as good, but this Reigns character is undeniably the best version of Reigns we've seen in WWE, which just makes Cena look foolish. He also said that he ran Dean Ambrose out of WWE and nearly ruined Seth Rollins, and I'm just like, huh? That's just not true at all. He also kept repeating 1, 2, 3, like he was going around in circles and improvising his promo, but struggling to come up with new content. He also referenced CM Punk, saying he was going to take the title and blow him a kiss on his way out the arena, which again felt awkward. I just didn't really like this promo segment at all. I thought both of them delivered their promos well enough, but the content just wasn't for me, Chief. Up next was Shinsuke Nakamura versus Apollo Crews for the Intercontinental Championship, and I'd like to make an apology. Last week, I said that the two faced off in a title match, when it was actually a championship contenders match. Silly me. So this week they had a title match, because last week Commander Aziz DQ'd Crews, which meant Nakamura won, and got him the title match this week, which makes absolutely zero sense at all, but sure, let's go with it. The referee ejected Rick Boogs when he tried to distract Crews. Finally, a referee actually getting rid of the menace at ringside, who constantly uses underhanded tactics to ensure Shinsuke wins, and also ejected Commander Aziz. This left Apollo alone, and Shinsuke managed a fun comeback and pinned Apollo to become the new Intercontinental Champion. I don't really care. The Street Profits faced the Alpha Academy next, which had a really confusing finish. Otis was legal, so Gable slapped him on the back in appreciation, which then tagged in Gable, making him legal, but he didn't want to tag in, so he argued with the ref before Otis was knocked off the apron. Ford dived to the moon and back onto Otis, and then Dawkins hit a neck breaker on Gable and won, but the camera missed about 90% of what happened, so I'm guessing I'm filling in the blanks here. This was very odd and confusing, and a weird way to try and protect the Alpha Academy in defeat, because with their supposed wrestling pedigree, they shouldn't be getting confused about how tagging works. Seth Rollins then cut a wonderful promo next. I seriously think this is the best Rollins has been since maybe 2019, you know, before... Ugh. Rollins threw to a video package we saw him demanding the production team to make beforehand, where it showed that everything Edge has done, Rollins had done better, like his Money in the Bank cash-in, his Royal Rumble victory actually resulting in a victory at WrestleMania, his time in his debuting faction actually being dominant. It was a very fun way to show the comparison between them, while Rollins naturally would admit all the stuff that makes them different. Seth then spoke on how everyone should be thanking him because if he stomped Edge in 2014, then none of this would have happened. He's great. The Mysterios faced Ziggler and Rude next, where the Usos attempted to distract the Mysterios on the Tron, but that didn't work. And then they won anyway, thanks to Rey's experience guiding Dominic. I didn't mention this earlier, but I would have thought the point of adding Jimmy Uso to the Bloodline would be so that the three of them could rule SmackDown together, but the trio have barely been seen together since that happened. The Usos don't accompany Reigns anymore, they're having their own feuds, and Reigns is starting to just feel like another guy at this point. It's a bit disappointing. Baron Corbin came out with one last plea to the crowd, asking for a minimum of $1,000 from every person present, before he was interrupted by Kevin Owens, who said he'd give him $1,000 if he could beat him in a match, and then gave him a stunner. So of course, Owens beat him in a matter of seconds. Oh wait, no, checks notes. Corbin took most of the match, and then Owens won via roll-up, and then gave him another stunner afterwards. Why not just have him hit the stunner in the match and win? We cut to backstage, and Bianca Belair and Big E are playing with a whiteboard, where Bianca starts writing out her name and doesn't write out Bianca Belair. Instead, she writes Bianca? I don't know why this is so funny to me. It just is. It's like she forgot she'd already written Bianca on the top line and then panicked and just had to go with it. Also, side note, what the f are they doing? Why is she writing out her name on a whiteboard? And why is Big E holding it? They're just doing things. Anyway, it was all to set up the next segment where Corbin stole Big E's briefcase. Pat McAfee then said, "Can he cash it in?" And Michael Cole exasperatedly says, "No." Why not? If Cena can come out and sign a contract that isn't his, why the hell can't Corbin cash in a contract that's not his? Why is it obvious that Corbin can't cash it in? And if it is so obvious that Corbin can't cash it in, then why would he steal it? This sounds like a nitpick, but this stuff matters when you're trying to tell a story. And then it was the contract signing between Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, and Banks then says that she needs witnesses for the contract, and out come Carmella and Zelina Vega. Bearing in mind, Banks and Belair faced these two in a tag match 2 weeks ago, where Banks tapped out Carmella, and Zelina and Banks were on opposing sides last week discussing who should get a title match, so they don't like each other, and yet they're here to back up Banks. She then says, "You didn't see that coming, did you, rookie?" No, she didn't. No one did. Do you know why? Because it doesn't make any f***ing sense. And then they beat up Belair and start helping Banks. Why? Explain these things. Why do they like her now? There's no reason for any of this to happen other than Sasha is heel, and they are heel, so they help heel. It's dumb, derivative, dumb, stupid, dumb, nonsensical, dumb, and really f***ing dumb. Is this a new stable? Do I care? Not really. Also, side note, why didn't Carmella or Zelina Vega want to beat up Banks and then sign the contract? Because in WWE canon, that's how you can get title matches now. Let me know what you thought of the show in the comments and by voting in our poll on a poll match on our community tab, where 69% of you, nice, voted for Nakamura, new IC champ. For people who say that I complain all the time about WWE, you're right, I do, it's because it's bad. And even the good stuff has nuggets of bad thrown in. I didn't overly enjoy this show, it wasn't as infuriating as last week, but it wasn't great either. 3 out of 5? Sure, let's go with that. But hold on, we're not done here, as I hand it over for Tempest for a review of last night's debut episode of AEW Rampage in a shorter amount of time.
7 more days. The final countdown is on. Oh wait, no, that's the other guy. What's going on, WrestleTalk friends and fans? I am Tempest the Wrestler, and I'm here to review NXT. I'm here to review SmackDown. I'm here to review AEW Rampage in about 3 minutes? Yeah, let's shoot for 3 minutes. Now, this show kicked off with the Impact World Championship match between Kenny Omega and Christian Cage. This is a match that I've been looking forward to ever since Christian set foot in an AEW ring earlier this year at Revolution, and they didn't disappoint, having a great back and forth match with Christian eventually getting the win, capturing the Impact World Championship for the first time in 15 years. During the closing moments of the match, Don Callis got on the ring apron to distract the referee when the Young Bucks came down to ringside and slid a chair into the ring for Kenny Omega to use, only for Christian to get the reversal and hit the kill switch on the chair, protecting Kenny Omega even in defeat. This was the first time that Kenny Omega has been pinned in an AEW ring in almost 2 years, and I think this is a fantastic way to give Christian Cage a little bit of momentum as we head towards All Out, while still protecting Kenny Omega. I mean, he's still got 2 belts. It's still 2 belts more than most people have. I thought this was a fantastic opening segment. This gets a 5 out of 5 from me. One thing on the show that didn't quite work for me personally was the commentary team. I think each individual member would do very well on commentary for this show, but having all 4 of them on at once felt a little bit like there were too many cooks in the kitchen. Maybe they can find their footing as the show goes on, but I think taking one of them out probably would be the best course of action. We then had the TNT Championship match as Miro defended against Fuego del Sol. The match itself was exactly what it needed to be, with Fuego hitting a tornado DDT before the bell rang, and then another 3 or 4 of them for the close near fall that everyone in the building bought as a finish. Making people believe, even for 1 second, that Fuego del Sol could beat Miro is an excellent job done here. Fuego ultimately did not win the match as Miro mounted a comeback, hitting a Samoan drop, his super kick, and then the game over for the win. Fantastic stuff. It wasn't very long, but it didn't need to be. This was about as perfect a 5-minute match as you will see. This gets a 5 out of 5 from me as well. And the post-match gets its own rating. Fuego was not only wrestling for the TNT Championship, but for a contract with AEW as well, and losing meant he wouldn't be signed as Miro tore up the contract and walked out. After the commercial though, Tony Khan sent Sammy Guevara down to the ring, Sammy Guevara being Fuego's best friend, to let him know that he is all elite. This was such a heartwarming way to end this segment, as Fuego didn't need to win the championship here. He really didn't. Miro should be champion for the foreseeable future, but it still gave the fans that feel-good moment. This was excellent stuff. Another 5 out of 5. And then we got the main event, the AEW Women's World Championship match between Britt Baker and Red Velvet. As expected, Britt Baker was as over as could be in her hometown of Pittsburgh, and she and Red Velvet had a very good main event match. Britt Baker totally worked as the babyface, and Red Velvet effectively worked as the heel in this match. Red Velvet focused most of her offense on Britt Baker's injured wrist, removing her wrist guard and going to work on it, pounding and wrenching on that injured wrist. This played into the finish as well, as when Britt Baker went for the lockjaw, Red Velvet was able to counter and slam her injured wrist into the mat, breaking the hold, only for Britt Baker to switch sides and use her other arm to apply the lockjaw and get the submission win. After the match, Britt Baker continued to attack Red Velvet when Chris Statlander came in to make the save, only for Britt Baker to then be backed up by the returning Jamie Hayter. Now, Jamie Hayter didn't get very much of a reaction from the crowd. She wasn't pushed as a big star when she was with AEW previously. I'm a big fan of hers and I'm looking forward to seeing it, but the moment did feel like a little bit of a miss. I am looking forward to seeing what this group does going forward, but for the debut itself, I gotta give it a 4 out of 5. Now, overall, this did feel kind of like an extra hour of AEW Dynamite. There were only a couple of backstage interviews throughout the show, but that's good. They definitely focused more on the in-ring side of things, and going forward, I think that'll be the show's strength. As for the first episode, it's gonna get a 5 out of 5, a very good start. And that just about wraps it up for me. If you want to hear my thoughts on tonight's episode of SmackDown, make sure you go over to WrestleTalk Podcast later on today, where myself and Chopper Pete will be breaking down the whole show in detail. Until then, I've been your Quizzlemania champion, Tempest the Wrestler. Jam that jam.
What's your favourite one of Damo's moves?
Favourite one of Damo's moves?
Yeah.
It's the big D, obviously.
The big D!
I can't do it on screen because the video will get pulled for licensing and nudity reasons.
He's right, of course.
But obviously, I'm not an idiot. I know all about wrestling.